Good morning to all of you. After finishing with acute leukemia, that is WHO classification and FAB classification, you have finished with acute myeloid leukemia and then acute lymphoid leukemia. From there, we move on to chronic leukemia. As you all know by this time, a leukemia to be chronic is basically a leukemia that is long standing, more than 6 months duration. Now, acute leukemias, as you've been already taught, are more seen in case of children, whereas chronic leukemias tend to be more commonly seen in adults. Now let's look at two important kind of chronic leukemias that are important for you for university purpose as well as for general in clinical practice too. One is CML, called chronic myelogenous leukemia. Another one is called CLL, that's chronic lymphocytic leukemia. Now, chronic myelogenous leukemia. You remember your acute myeloid leukemia, WBC series, the same way in WBC series, the myeloid precursors. So, it's the same way a leukemia that tends to affect the myeloid series in chronic leukemia is called chronic myelogenous leukemia. Now, in 2008 WHO classification, this chronic myelogenous leukemia fell into a broad group called myeloproliferative neoplasms, and in that, as you can see that chronic myelogenous leukemia comes as chronic myelogenous leukemia BCR ABL1 positive. That's how most of the CMLs are. They carry a particular molecular abnormality associated, from which we can actually detect or tell that this particular disease is CML, and that is the molecular abnormality that's called Philadelphia chromosome BCR ABL1. Now let's look at what chronic myelogenous leukemia is. Chronic myelogenous leukemia is a pluripotent stem cell disease which tends to affect not only the WBC series, it affects the myeloid series, the monocytoid series, and the megakaryocyte series. So what is it going to cause? It's going to cause suppression of erythroid precursors. As a result, the patient tends to have anemia. As I told you, it's precursors. As I already told you, that it's more of myeloid. So proliferation of myeloid series. Which kind of myeloid series? You're going to see more and more immature forms. Then, along with myeloid series, you will see increase in basophils and eosinophils. That's called basophilia and eosinophilia. And a huge spleen, an overworking spleen, that's called spleen. That's splenomegaly. Now, something characteristic about CML, as you've already seen in the classification, and I have been emphasizing about it, there is a particular molecular abnormality that is associated with it. That's called Philadelphia chromosome, or called PH chromosome. That is basically reciprocal translocation of 9 and 22. I repeat again, it's the reciprocal translocation of 9 and 22. Now, what does reciprocal translocation basically mean? Is that reciprocate, give one, take one. It's a barter system. Give one and take one. So, chromosome 9 gives a part of it and takes a part of chromosome 22. In this barter system or exchange mechanism, what happens is that the chromosome 22 becomes smaller in size, and that smaller size is your chromosome 22 that looks small, and that's Philadelphia chromosome. Now, CML most commonly is mostly seen more in males, and it occupies around 15% of all the leukemias. Then average age of presentation is, as I told you, elder, in and around 50 years. Now, what is the main etiopathogenesis? There is no characteristic etiopathogenesis known. There are hypotheses that overexposure to radiation or overexposure to chemicals like benzene are being responsible for production or formation or developing CML. Now that's how your pluripotent blood stem cell is, gives rise to myeloid, myeloblast, and erythroid. The same stem cell becomes abnormal, and this abnormal stem cell is going to give rise to abnormal WBC and platelets. This particular stem cell acquires the BCR-ABL fusion gene. Okay, and this BCR-ABL fusion gene, the product of it, the protein of it, favors differentiation over self. More and more multiplication is taking place, but that multiplication does not allow you to mature down. So you have more and more WBC series, but they are immature. Now this PH chromosome is not only seen in the myeloid series, it is seen in monocytic series, erythroid series, megakaryocyte series, B and T lymphocytes, indicating that it's affecting a large population of cells. Now the BCR-ABL, which I have been telling, reciprocal translocation 9 and 22. Now let's look at it in detail. What do you have? What is BCR? BCR expansion is breakpoint cluster region. BCR is breakpoint cluster region. Now where it is located? BCR. A comes, B comes after A, right? So you have 22 that comes after 9. So BCR is located in chromosome 22. Now where is ABL there? ABL means Abelson leukemia virus gene, which is located on chromosome 9. So this fusion protein will produce this fusion protein will produce a tyrosine kinase enzyme. This tyrosine kinase enzyme has a very unregulated activity that helps in more and more production of cells but doesn't allow it to mature. Now let's look at the clinical features. As I've told you, to summarize, CML, chronic leukemia, whose myelogenous leukemia associated with what particular chromosomal abnormality? BCR-ABL. Okay, and then it's more commonly seen in males, and they are at the etiopathogenesis overexposure to radiation or exposure to benzene. And you have ABL, smaller one, located in chromosome 9. BCR, breakpoint cluster region, located in chromosome 22. What happens between them? There is reciprocal translocation between ABL BCR gene product. As a result, the chromosome 22 becomes smaller in size, and that's called Philadelphia chromosome. Now, how do the patients present it? Some of the patients are totally asymptomatic and they just come for a health checkup, and then they realize their blood count is way too high. Okay, or 70% of them which are symptomatic can present easy fatigability. They feel very fatigued very easily, loss of sense of well-being, there's something wrong, decreased tolerance to exertion, they cannot walk too much, anorexia and abdominal discomfort, early satiety, weight loss. Spleen is so huge that the stomach cannot expand over it. As a result, what is going to happen? The patient starts eating less. Other symptoms will be night sweats, or it might be a left upper quadrant pain because of huge spleen. These are rashes that can be seen in CML. Now you can see the thing that's marked with black. The one above marked is your coastal margin. From below that, just below the coastal margin is where you're going to just see a spleen normally. Whereas you have a huge splenomegaly, that is that huge kidney shaped thing that is marked there. The spleen is very large. Patient is having pallor because of anemia. Okay. So what are you going to do? You're going to ask for some of the basic investigations, that is CBC, and that is complete blood count. Now what is complete blood count going to give you? Your hemoglobin concentration of that patient would be normal or mildly reduced. Then let's look at WBC. How the WBCs are going to get increased. How much? More than 25,000. Okay. And what you're going to see? You're going to see a lot of hypersegmented neutrophils. Along with the WBC series increasing, you have increase in basophil and eosinophil count too. Certainly, that is basophilia would be there, eosinophilia would be there. Now, the platelet count would be either normal or it can be increased. Okay, and The blast cells, that is immature cells, the blast cells that you see in acute myeloid leukemia would be less than 3% in case of CML. So blasts are generally less. When they are more only, you think of acute leukemia. Now we are looking at chronic leukemia. So they are less. So this is the picture of a CML blood picture. You will have a slide of this also kept for your exam, where you see lots of WBC, blue cells. Those are WBCs. And you see lot of myelocytes, a lot of metamyelocytes, the C-shaped structures that you see, and then you see in between both of them at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock position, you see 2 basophils. Okay, rest of them are RBCs. What do? You get bone marrow. You do bone marrow. Now, bone marrow is not exactly required for diagnosis. Bone marrow is just a supportive supportive evidence indicating that you're having a hypercellular marrow. Whatever you're going to see in the smear, the exaggerated version is you're going to see in the bone marrow. So you're going to see lot of WBCs proliferated. Your erythroid series are all suppressed, and you have lots of megakaryocyte. Those large cells are your megakaryocyte. Okay, so these are sea blue histiocytes. You tend to see them in CML. Other investigation is, now I told you WBC series is very high. So in that high, you have, I've already taught you something called leukemoid reaction. Now what is leukemoid reaction? Leukemoid reaction is where you have WBC count very high, similar to a leukemia, but their neutrophil alkaline phosphatase value would be high, but here it will be reduced. That's one differentiating point between leukemoid and CML. Then your serum vitamin B12 transcomagament level would be increased, and LDH, lactate dehydrogenase value, would be also increased as the cell count is higher. Now, I told you I need to prove I am suspecting chronic myelogenous leukemia, but I need to prove that this is BCR-ABL ABL gene mutation. It's most of the times. So, what do you see? You see that the number of in cytogenetics, you can see that 9 and 22, there is reciprocal translocation. Look at the 22 size. 22 size is totally reduced, and that is Philadelphia chromosome. Okay. So most of the time there is reciprocal translocation. There are times there are other complex translocations also taking place. So above is the most common thing. Now what do you do further? Do you have confusion? You don't do conventional cytogenetics, you do something called FISH. What is FISH? FISH is fluorescent in situ hybridization. In that, if there is fusion, you will see a different color signal. See, ABL would be having a pink color, the BCR would be having a green color signal, which are separate. Now look at in the other abnormal cell, you are seeing a yellowish color, combination of that red and the green, and that yellow signal means there is fusion protein. Now better would be to find out how many copies of that mutated versions or BCR ABL is there, so that you can treat accordingly. So you do PCR, polymerase chain reaction, to know how many copies are there. Now something more important for you, which has been often asked for your viva or for your exam, is what are the phases of chronic myelogenous leukemia. Now phases of chronic myelogenous leukemia are chronic phase, accelerated phase, and you have ablastic phase. In chronic phase, you have most patients are asymptomatic, okay, and they are mostly asymptomatic, and they have lot of WBC count is very high, and they will have splenomegaly. Here the blast percentage is less than 3%, and you have basophilia and eosinophilia. Okay, next moves the accelerator. What does acceleration means? Increase. So increase in what? You increase in number of blasts. In chronic phase, I told you the number of blasts are less than 5%, whereas in accelerated phase, it's between 10 to 19%. Okay, about 20% is your acute leukemia itself. So in between that, 10 to 19% is blast. The number of basophil percentage increases more than 20%. You have thrombocytosis, the platelet count is very high or low, thrombocytopenia, and you have newer and newer clonal chromosome abnormalities being detected. Okay, next comes blast crisis. Once a blast crisis starts, that means the patient is nearing his end. Okay, blast crisis is similar to your acute leukemia. Chronic leukemia suddenly became acute leukemia because the number of blast cell increased. More than 20% is your acute leukemia. Then you have a condition called chloroma, that is deposition of these abnormal pluripotent stem cells outside the blood. Okay, and it is seen in the skin, subcutaneous tissue, it is seen in the muscle, and that's called chloroma. Okay, so we have three phases. We have a chronic phase, you have an accelerated phase, and you have a blast phase. In chronic phase, the percentage of blast is less than 5%, whereas in case of accelerated phase, you have blast percentage between 10 to 19%, and then in blast phase, you have more than 20%. Okay, so how do you treat them? You have, I've been telling you, BCR-ABL fusion gene product. So it produces tyrosine kinase. So abnormal tyrosine kinase is the main thing that is responsible for this CML. So how to stop it? You apply a brake by stopping the abnormal tyrosine kinase activity. So you cause tyrosine kinase inhibitor therapy are given for treatment of CML. Actually, CML responds pretty well to tyrosine kinase inhibitors, and they live a normal, almost a normal life. Okay, so with this, we have finished with CML. Okay, and now we will move on to CLL.